Heart Me Cake podcast.
Boo, we're featuring episode 14.
Episode 14.
We're happy to get there.
We are happy to get there.
I was going to be like halfway in, but I'm like halfway to what?
Wise words have never been spoken. Yeah. Here we are once again. Do you want to update the people on what we've been up to?
He's laughing because I feel like in all of our podcasts, we begin with kind of like a life update, which I personally like. And if you disagree, comment below and let us know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think we had a fun couple of weeks. We went to Disneyland last weekend, right?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Well, we went on the 4th, May the 4th. It was really cool. I hadn't gone for me personally since high school, but actual Disneyland since I came to America, which was like elementary school. I went to, usually my family likes going to California Adventure because, I mean, you know, Disneyland, it's more geared towards like kids stories and like my family's like, we want rides.
Yeah.
So it was really fun kind of spending like, we spent like 5 hours at Disneyland.
No, we spent like 12. We got there like 9 or 10.
No, I mean actual Disneyland.
Oh,
and then
like,
California
and then
Adventure,
California
yeah.
Adventure, yeah, like
I mean
another
like
3 or 4 hours.
actual Disneyland, we spent like, I guess 5 or 6 hours at that point. And then we got kind of antsy because we're like, we want drinks at a certain point. Because Disneyland Park doesn't really have alcohol. It's just like...
Kid shit.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more, yeah, kid shit, but like they kind of go into like the storybook, you know, like in each land.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
that
just
makes
more
sense.
geared towards Jill. Even the fact that they don't really have rides like that.
Yeah.
Like all the rides are like experiences or whatever.
Experiences, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
Like there's not really roller coasters and shit, and then you get to California Adventure, and it's like, you know, teenage / adult fun. in my
Exactly.
opinion.
More amusement park-esque.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what my family liked, and I forgot how fun Disneyland was.
Yeah, I don't remember when they opened California Adventure because when I was a kid, they didn't have that shit.
Really? No way.
Yeah, like I remember when it was like announced or whatever. So I'm trying to remember like when they actually had it, because also I don't know if you remember, Brandon was saying like the whole like where the downtown Disney thing was. That was like a parking lot before.
Yeah, that's so
Like it was just like a
true.
big ass open parking lot. So a lot of it changed. Like obviously they built up a bunch of stuff, but I don't know.
That's true, because now they have like a multi-level parking structure, which is
Bring that a little closer.
this parking structure, which is very like very organized. Which
Yeah.
is very like, they're like, you go this way. There was like a whole like rope and shit.
Yeah, they definitely made it like super efficient, which I appreciate, because that's always like the hard part is at the end of the night when you're trying to leave
Yeah.
and there's like a bajillion people.
We left like that.
Yeah, they got us out of
Yeah.
there pretty quickly.
Super quickly. And that's kind of like the funny thing about Disneyland. It's always very like orchestrated in the great sense that you're out like that, but in the other sense that like, I don't know, the staff has to be like, hey guys, like obviously they're in character form, so you have to be like, you know, in character. So it's geared towards kids, but it's almost like cringy, if that makes sense. But it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had fun.
I really did too.
What was your favorite ride?
My favorite ride. I had a few like experiences included. I really like the Rise of the Resistance. The Star Wars land as a whole was really cool, and that ride, just the fact that like, I felt like they really took you to the place, quote unquote. You felt like you were on the space shuttle, and then you get to like, you know, interact, and like it was cool. And then that experience, it's a silly one. You're like, wow, I like the treehouse. I thought it was cool.
The
Like going up,
treehouse?
yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
was a really cute thing that like,
The ex Tarzan treehouse.
yes,
What was it, like the Robinsons or something?
exactly. I think it was literally the Robinsons, and
Which I've never fucking heard of. Like I don't know what that is.
I
Is that
thought
a
it was to
movie?
Meet the Robinsons, but I don't remember the treehouse at all in it. So I was like, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But I liked it a lot because I think when I was a kid, that one time I went to Disneyland, I was on it with my parents,
Yeah.
and I really loved that. So
Yeah.
it was just really fun.
I mean, it's one of the oldest attractions. It's like that and that Jungle Cruise shit have been there forever.
Yeah, the one that we were on too, right? Yeah, that was fun too. What about yours?
Mine was probably the Incredicaster.
That's the one I didn't go on, right?
Yeah, it's like the super fast like roller coaster ride in California Adventure. That was always my favorite one though, because it's just like super fun and it just like takes off. I like roller coasters.
Right, totally.
So I really enjoy that. But for sure the Star Wars land thing was pretty dope. I don't know, I felt like both the Resistance ride and then the Smuggler. I didn't like the Smuggler one as much, just because like the whole like, oh, like you have to steer and shoot and all that shit. I was like,
I yeah, it was like I had to press buttons. It was like silly, but
I get what they were trying to do. But I was also like, can I just enjoy the ride? You know what I mean?
I loved your mom to be like, I'm gonna sit in the back because I'm gonna get dizzy.
Yeah, my mom gets like motion sickness.
Which I feel, because the first ride we got on was Space Mountain.
Yeah.
I was expecting Space Mountain. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was like a roller coaster, hella like all dark. I was gonna throw up on that ride, dude. Like,
yeah, I was like, we should have gone on that one first.
We shouldn't have.
Nah, because usually when I go to Disneyland, that's like towards the end.
Like Matterhorn would have been a nice spin. Like, woo,
right,
yeah.
Right. Matterhorn was fun too.
Very fun. Matterhorn. I like that one. Classic.
But for Space Mountain, like I think just being in the dark is kind of
It just shook me up on the inside. Like,
yeah.
I was like a baby that was shaking.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So that was okay. Tell me your top food favorite, which I think I already know yours, and then your least favorite that you were like, I wish I didn't get. Or not worth your money.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think there was anything in particular. Well, no, I take that back. The pizza at Pizza Planet was
first thing you got.
That shit was disgusting.
It was cafeteria, cafeteria style pizza.
Yeah, and I should have known because it was all like kids eating there, like parents with their fucking chubby little fat kids. But they tricked me because the slice of pizza was disgusting, but the like miniature personal one, that shit looked good. But
yeah,
but it was also like thin crust, and I don't really like thick crust, which is what like they gave me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say that was probably the most disappointing. The best thing, as you probably know, was the gumbo. So they have like Tiana's Palace from The Princess and the Frog, and it's like all like Creole food. They had like po' boys and shit, and like beignets, a bunch of just like New Orleans type shit.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know, the gumbo was pretty good. That was like the most like satisfying food, you know? Like it was like everything else was like, you know, churros and popcorn and like snacky shit or whatever. But like that to me was like, oh yeah, like it's worth the like whatever $17, $19 that it was.
No, definitely. So mine, top and least two things, the gumbo and the cornbread. I thought were fire, but I'm just a cornbread like lover. Any cornbread I will like. Yeah. Gumbo was just so surprisingly hella good. The hot sauce that it came with was really surprisingly good.
Yeah, the hot sauce was fire.
Like, it's a gumbo you would have gotten at a southern restaurant and you wouldn't have been like disappointed. And like that part of it was really cute. Like Tiana's what was it? The Bayou thing?
Tiana's Palace.
Yeah, but they have, it's like the whatever French Quarter or whatever. It was really cute. They had like a band.
Yeah, they had some black chick dressed up as Tiana come out and like dance with kids and shit.
Yeah,
that was cute.
It was really cute. And then two things I didn't like that were just kind of random that I got just as a splurge because I was like, fuck it. Well, I guess the one I didn't get, the pickle I got was spicy pickle. At first I liked it, but it was just too spicy and not in a good way that it was flavorful. And the second thing was what you got, the lavender lemonade. I just thought it was so gross. It just tasted, maybe I just got the syrup part, straight up like lavender.
Yeah, you gotta mix it.
Yeah,
you probably just got like the bottom part.
I was like,
I liked it.
You did like it.
Yeah.
But another thing is, I don't like the flavor of lavender, so of course I know.
Well, there you go. Besides that, I think all the churros I ate were good.
Yeah, I tried a coconut one.
I think I had like 3 churros.
Yeah.
And then that Dole Whip thing was pretty fire.
That's what I was gonna say. The Dole Whip was really good. The beignet, I was expecting it to be really good because I was watching it all over TikTok. Mid.
Yeah, but I think they had another beignet as well.
I saw it. It was like a lemon drizzle one. It looks whatever too.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
it was cute though. It was shaped like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, no, it was. I will say that, I don't know if this is rude to beignets out there. One of the better beignets I've ever had, but I haven't been to Louisiana, so maybe I just haven't had good beignet. Like, yeah, it was nice and airy, which I preferred, and beignets I've had here have been hella doughy. So it was good in that sense. But I don't know. I wasn't impressed.
I feel it.
Yeah, so
But for sure, shout out to Brandon because he
yes.
got
Thank
not
you
only
so
did he
much,
get us
Brandon.
tickets, but he got us
The
the lightning
lightning,
pass,
yeah.
which I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you're an adult, even if you're a kid, honestly, if you can afford the lightning pass, just get that shit.
Not that expensive either. I think it's like $45.
Yeah, it's really not that
Yeah.
expensive, but they do sell out, so you got to get there early.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But yeah, fuck standing in lines because we got to ride pretty much everything that we wanted to.
Literally. Another honorable mention. Sorry to interrupt. The Cars Land.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool one too. But we got to ride all the shit we wanted to ride because of those lightning passes.
Definitely.
Where like the regular lines were like 45 minutes to an hour wait. Like, bro, if you're, let's just say you're there for 8 hours, that's only 8 rides.
Bro, literally.
Not including like bathroom breaks and food and all that shit. Like you're only gonna go on 8 rides. That's insane.
And my family never did that, so we were the ones just standing in line and literally
Fuck
riding 8
that,
rides.
dude.
But like in my mind, and I don't think they realized it either, how cheap it is when you really think about it.
I think it probably got cheaper. I don't think it was that cheap. Back in the day.
Okay, maybe he probably gets a discount too.
Yeah, and
It's probably like 100 or something.
he didn't just have the lightning pass; they have like a season pass.
Like Jack has like a special thing too. I heard.
Exactly.
Word on
So
the
like the whole
street.
app thing, like that's part of it. Like you have to like book.
So
There's
extra.
like windows. Not really. It makes sense instead of just having a bunch of people. Because then the lightning pass line will get long if everybody just goes whenever.
Let me just say, listen, I'm gonna sound like such an old person. I hate, and this was just at Disneyland as a whole. Everything, or not everything, but a lot of it was like just mobile order only, and I hate like that shit. I'm like, I have a fucking card, like it's not cash.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
I mean, everything's going like cashless these days, which is fucking funny because like back in the day, if you went to like a fair or something like that, or even like a concert, it was like cash only. I don't know if you remember
Right,
that.
of course.
Like you'd be like, what the fuck? Like I don't have cash. I only have a card. Now it's like the opposite.
And like that, even I even understand. I'm like, I have Apple Pay and everything, but they were like, you have to get the app and do
Yeah,
all
you
the
have to
shit.
order
I
through
was
the
like,
app.
me and Shannon were both like, just take my money. I want to spend my money here. So
Yeah, that shit was pretty dumb.
that was annoying. And I will say, like, shout out to them for like not like the food and shit was not as expensive as I thought, and even like the
Yeah.
little. Not the souvenirs; they were expensive, but like the Mickey ears and shit. It was
The
not bad.
souvenirs were the most. I have to say everything. Everything as a whole was a lot cheaper than I remember it. Except for the souvenirs.
Yeah.
The souvenirs were still expensive, but everything else I feel like went down in price.
It's like the movies, the fucking popcorn and shit's always hella expensive. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm hella far from this. Sorry. But yeah. So overall, it was a great time, and I'd come back again. And if I lived in LA, I'd probably get a season pass. Would you? Did you like it a lot?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if I would get a season pass.
No?
I feel like Disneyland's one of those things where, like, in order to really appreciate it, you have to go, like, every once in a while. And the perfect
True.
example is when we had that fucking Six Flags season pass. Granted, we went, like...
We did go a lot.
Like 5 or 6 times.
We went
but
a lot.
By the 6th time, I was kind of like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's different, too.
it's worth it. At least the Six Flags one, it's worth it because the cost of the...
Yeah, it's like one ticket.
Yeah, it's like one ticket. So it's like if you're gonna go at least twice, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Whereas like I don't know how much the season pass for Disney is.
Way more. I disagree in the sense that Disneyland is like its own like world experience, whereas Six Flags is just fucking amusement.
But how many times are you gonna?
Bro, like you even said it in Disneyland. You got Disney drunk there, and I guess you were like, I get this. If I lived in LA, because you bring
but then
people
I
and
thought
shit.
about that's the only way that it would be worth it is if it's like
just bored, you go.
But if it's like you get to go for free or whatever, like you get in for free whenever you want, and then you can also bring like a certain amount of people, then that's worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you're always gonna, especially if you live in LA, you're always gonna have people who come into town who want to go to the Disneyland.
Yeah,
you know? But if it's just like. Yeah, like you get to go. Like I don't think personally by myself I would just go like, all the time.
No, I get you. So, I don't know. You would hope all the people at Disneyland are working, like at characters, are getting paid really good money.
I'm sure.
Because I'm like...
They get paid in Disney bucks.
Right. And apparently there's like a whole like part of Disney where... not the underworld, but like the underworld. There's like hidden places like us people can't go in and all this shit.
You gotta be important.
Even like the secret restaurant that Brandon was trying to get them into. It's like, isn't that serious? But that's cool. Like, who loves Disneyland that much? They're like, we're gonna make like a speakeasy in there.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's like when celebrities go, they want to have like a special thing.
I guess
that the common folk can't have access to. You know?
So lame. I'm all about accessibility for everyone.
Nah. I'm trying to get on that list, nigga. Fuck these common peasants. I'm trying to get into the VIP. Out here. Fuck that.
But no, oh my god! And you had you said the most ridiculous thing where I was like, oh, when I have kids, I'm excited to bring them there, and he's like, I'm not gonna bring them until they're 12. 12. I was like, Disneyland is designed for like kids.
Nah, fam.
That's when I was like, this man is not ready for kids.
Fuck that. Why would you bring a little ass kid?
Dude, that's what they have, like little kid rides.
Who's gonna fucking cry? They have a height limit on half of those rides. If the motherfucker can't even fit the goddamn ride, I'm not taking no kid on a fucking tee. Fuck that kid,
You're
dude.
being fucking selfish.
Fuck them kids. Wow, I don't want to go in the teacup.
It's for your kids.
Fuck them little niggas.
That's how I know you're not ready.
They're not even gonna remember that shit. They're gonna grow up and be like, "What? The teacup?" Like, they're not even gonna remember it.
It's like parents who like have 1-year-old birthday parties and go all out.
Why?
No, I get you.
They're literally not gonna. It's not for them anymore. It's for you.
So apparently,
like, just say you want to go on the teacup ride.
So right. So apparently, my first birthday, they went all out and like had a huge blowout and all this shit. It's like, for what? I don't remember that shit.
I would just tell my kid that just to lie. I'm like, yeah, it was amazing. We had fucking
just have a photo shoot like this right there.
Just Photoshop like famous people. Fucking Barack Obama, Kim Kardashian, they were all there, man.
You're like, oh shit. And you know the AI looks so real nowadays.
Exactly. They'll never know. Until they're like 4 or 5 when they start having like consciousness.
And it's so funny, like, this is such a tangent. And apparently after that, like, birthday party, I got super sick, right? Of course, like, I was surrounded by all these random people. And they were like, oh, it was all this, like evil eye type of thing. And I was like, oh my god.
It's called germs, first of all. You can probably let a bunch of strangers kiss your big ass cheeks and shit.
Hey man, don't be just talking about my cheeks like that. But no, so Disneyland, man, dark side of it. Look it up.
Dark side. It's the happiest place on earth. What
right?
do you mean?
Happiest place on earth.
But yeah, I don't know. LA was chill.
It was really fun. I feel like we didn't go like ham in the sense that like we went like drank hella or anything, and like I'm also proud that I didn't eat like really shitty stuff. Like I got to try Erewhon, which I'm trying to think like how I felt about it. Underwhelming, to be honest.
Well, explain what Erewhon is.
Okay, to the listeners who don't know what Erewhon is, it's basically like a Whole Foods-esque store, but like a little bit more fancier, I guess.
Basically, if you think Whole Foods is expensive,
and
Erewhon
bougie.
said, hold my fucking $30 seltzer beverage.
They have like circle ice cube, circle ice for like $30, you know?
Yeah. It's cool though, it's good.
It's good in that like I tried the Hailey Bieber, the strawberry glaze smoothie. It was alright. It wasn't anything. It just TikTok and its marketing. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's definitely marketed towards like rich people, specifically like that LA crowd that thinks like
influencers.
Yeah, but not
healthy.
Even influencers. It's just like people who think they're like a little bit better than everybody else.
And like that healthy, clean, lifestyle.
A lot of fit people walking around, a lot of fucking Botox and plastic surgery. That's the part that cracked me up the most about it. Is like these are again like, and that's why I wanted to differentiate between like actual influencers, like pseudo famous people, and just regular fucking people. These are people who just live in that area,
right?
And they have like full fucking like nip tuck, like rhinoplasties and fucking lip fillers and all that shit. Just regular people. It's like, you work in accounting. Why do you look that way? You know what I mean?
No, I guess too. That's too funny.
And that's the thing about LA that always just cracks me up. It's like regular people think they're like somebody,
it's like
but they're
your lawyer
not.
Just has a boob job.
Yeah, like why? And I get it. It's like you always say, like, if you have the money, why not? Yeah. And I feel like if that's what you want to do, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's like you're just a regular person.
Right. But are we all just regular people?
I don't know. My thing is
I
like
get you,
if you're
though.
gonna do all that, then I would hope that you're at least aspiring to be famous.
Ye-
You know what I mean? Like you're actually going to auditions,
I mean,
or you have a singing career or something. You know?
I disagree. I mean, what kind of even like fillers and stuff you think is strictly for people who want to be in that like entertainment industry?
Or model or so. I don't. For
You
me, it's
think
just like
so? Like, you think that's weird that like I would just want to like
specifically.
if I was a server and I just want to look a little better?
I will say specifically the people that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's so extreme.
Yeah.
It's like, why the fuck do you look
I
like
agree
that
that
if
is
you just
very-
if you're just a regular person?
You're just in like gym pants. And,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Like you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You're no like no offense, like you're nobody.
Yeah,
Like why the fuck do you look like that?
Right. I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if I agree, but yeah.
If you get like a little, whatever, like, oh, I don't like
Lip tuck, yeah.
I don't like this mole, or like I wish my whatever looked this way.
Yeah.
Then fine, but like some of the people I saw, I was just like, Jesus Christ, man.
I get you. And to me, like, plastic surgery is like politics. It's like a tricky topic, you know?
I don't know.
But it is interesting, and LA totally is like filled with just your fucking pediatrician has a BBL, you know,
Right.
like just everybody has plastic surgery. So it's in that sense, like I'm all for plastic surgery, but on another sense, I'm not, because I think we don't need it, and I think we're gonna get to the point. I heard this from somebody else that the people who don't have plastic surgery, it's gonna be more of a commodity, and they're just gonna be more like not respected, but like wanted more. I don't know if I agree, but like just more like natural. We're gonna like the pendulum's gonna swing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with like plastic surgery in particular, or like I would say just plastic surgery as a whole in particular, I feel like it's like, how do you say this? It's like the new shiny thing,
Right.
but I don't think as like a species or like a society that it's not what I don't think like the overall population finds that very attractive.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a nice thing to look like, oh shit, like look at those big fake tits, you know what I mean? And it's like fun to play with, but I don't think the average person is like, I want my partner to have like a shit ton of plastic surgery, you know what I mean?
I get
Like
you.
guys and girls. Like I think like if a girl saw a guy who had like, like fucking fake plastic or like whatever abs, like the ab surgery,
Right.
like I think like at first they'd be like, oh wow, like that's hot or whatever, but then I think that's not the person they really want to like be with, maybe, unless they also are like super fake and plastic like that as well.
I get you.
You know?
No, I get you. I get what you. Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I get you.
I just don't think, like, I think it's like the new shiny thing.
Yeah.
And I think eventually people are going to be like, that was a fun era. You know what I mean?
No,
And then there's going to be a
totally.
shit ton of people just stuck with plastic surgery. Because and I've said this before, but it never ages well.
Yeah, that's
never-
the point I was gonna make.
You never see an 80-year-old who had plastic surgery and you're like, wow, it really held up. Like,
That's-
you're always like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you had
Right.
plastic surgery, didn't you?
And I don't judge people with plastic surgery at all. Like, obviously, do whatever makes you happy, you know. And I'm gonna give a very silly example of when my ear piercing closed up. Do you remember, in the back? And I just thought it was like a cute thing to get. I was like, oh, hee, you know.
Yeah.
And that shit, like, I literally had to get like minor surgery. Like, they were gonna put me under. I had to like go to the hospital, the surgery department, cut it out. And I was like,
The surgery department.
surgical department. I was like, I didn't need this shit, you know. And I
Yeah.
just feel like even with fillers, they say like like it's some foreign shit you put in your body, and even when you dissolve it, it's a whole
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're gonna look back and be like, I didn't need that shit. Like, I was
Most
fine.
people who get shit like that regret it. Funny
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Erwan. Shout out to LA. I love going to LA because it's such like a different, it's like a unique culture, you know? And I think like America is great in that sense where we have like all these different pockets, like New York,
Yeah.
LA, the Bay,
Yeah.
like New Orleans, Texas, wherever. Like all these places culturally are so different. And I just love going to LA to like get a little dose of that superficial shit.
totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Every time I go, I'm just like, yes, and then I leave.
And every time I go to LA, I'm always like, I needed to hit like 5 more spots and like see like 3 more people. It's
Right.
never enough. So I'm always like, I need, because we only spent like 4 days, which is like pretty long.
Yeah.
Still wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
To me. I really wanted to go to the beach. That was my main thing too. But we didn't. Yeah. We just didn't have time.
I feel like we probably could have gone on Monday?
Yeah, we probably should. I don't even know
Or
what we
just-
did on Monday.
We went to Roscoe's and
Oh,
then we
Roscoe's.
just like chilled at the house.
Yeah, we did.
But after Disneyland and
We
then
were so tired.
the mall and like our failed attempt at dinner.
Oh my god, I want to talk about that. I'm not even gonna go there. Our friend. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna talk about it.
But like after those 2 days, I think I was just like, I was kind of done.
No, yeah, I get you. Disneyland alone, we walked like fucking 10 miles that day. Like we were there from like 9 to like literally 9, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So that was crazy.
It was a long day.
Yeah.
So where do you think you want to, where's the next destination?
After talking to your mom and Shannon, I really want to go to Mexico.
Yeah, but you've been wanting to go to Mexico.
Well, yeah,
But
I think that's the next destination.
In America, or not America,
Oh.
but like in the U.S. of A.
So in US of A, because Mexico's.
Like the States.
I mean, Hawaii, yes, but like
Oh
a new
my
place.
God,
Then I
come
was
on.
gonna tell you a new place, New Orleans, or I want to go to Texas just to see it. I think New Orleans would be cool.
New Orleans would be dope.
Yeah, I
When's
think
Mardi Gras?
March.
So it passed.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can just go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want to go summer because I heard it's hella hot and humid. I want to go during
Yeah.
the fall or something, to be honest with you. Like, March would have been a nice time to go. So we could just go again. I mean, not go, like, wait for it to come up again. But yeah, those two, I think Texas would be fun just because, like, you've been talking about Texas forever and, like, I like barbecue or whatever. I want to go to Houston.
I want to go to Houston too.
Yeah. What about
Somebody
you?
was telling me that like the pollution in Houston's really bad or something, some shit like that. But I still want to go.
I mean, we'll check it out. I bet. Like, it's
Yeah.
like a metropolitan.
I've been to
city.
Houston. I just don't remember it being particularly bad.
It might probably gotten, like, worse.
Maybe.
What, like, 2 places do you want to go besides the ones?
I really want to go to New York again,
Oh, fuck yeah. That's a good one. I forgot about New York. I didn't even...
especially like now that I'm like fully an adult
Yeah.
and like I can just go and do whatever the fuck I want. Like,
Yeah.
I would be down to spend like a week in New York.
Fuck yeah, dude. A week or two. Man, New York would be dope.
Yeah, but I'd want to do it like kind of bougie, like get like a nice Airbnb.
Fuck yeah. New York is just one of those places we really need to save up for. Because I'd want to do all, like, to go to a Broadway show, do all the cool shit.
Yeah,
See Central Park. Go to Central Park. Just kidding.
and you know my uncle still lives there, and he's like in that whole theater scene. So
Hey, that'd be so fun.
I'm sure he'd probably put us on to like so. Because the first time I went, we hung out with him, like me and my mom,
That would be so fun.
and like he took us to like some like I don't think I knew you then, but I used to have like this really dope like Tibetan bracelet, and it was like skulls and shit.
I think I have seen that.
The one you saw was like after I lost the actual one that I had. Yeah, I was so heartbroken too. But for sure, I want to go back to like that store.
Fuck yeah.
And then like
Wanna go
Times
to
Square
Bodega?
and shit. Yeah.
Get a ham and cheese. Do you know the J-Lo
Bacon,
shit?
egg, and cheese
No, I guess
with
you
the
don't.
bev.
The orange soda.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh my god.
What is it, J-Lo?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. So if you
J
guys
from
seen
the
that J-Lo, yeah, exactly. So she's like, you know how people make fun of her? She's like, what blog? She's like, yeah, I go to the bodega and get a ham cheese on a roll and an orange soda and a small chips. People are like, what's a small chips? One orange drink. Like,
What the fuck?
she's like, ham and cheese on a roll? Like, what?
The most generic order ever.
Dude, I gotta show you, like, after this.
That's so
People are like,
funny.
what the fuck? And then she'd be like, I'd be walking up and down the block with my hair loose. It's like, what?
Has anybody ever seen J-Lo?
Bro,
in
where
New
she's
York?
from, it's like a
On the
nicer
block?
place. Exactly.
Can anybody verify?
It's ridiculous.
They're like, Jenny who?
And it's like small chips, like someone was like, chips don't come in sizes. It's not like small, medium, large.
Right.
I gotta love her. But yeah, so we had a couple of topics for this. So speaking of TikTok, there's like right now the debate of topic is a teacher. Yeah, I believe he's a middle school teacher. He filmed himself, and I believe it was on live. No, I think he just posted it, filmed his students. It was like 3 or 4 students. He has braids and like undoing his braids, like, and then he was just
basically it was some black bitches undoing a black teacher's hair.
Black bitches, wow. And then the whole thing was they're shooting a commercial out of school, and he didn't have time to like undo his hair, blah blah blah, and people saw that and were kind of upset about it. What was your reaction? That's what you might.
So personally, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but in this day and age, I'm not surprised that the internet and people were outraged. I think that before you can judge the video and this teacher, he seemed like a cool ass teacher. And he probably just had like a chill ass relationship with his students. And it wasn't like these were like super young girls. They looked like they were in like high school. You know what I mean? And he did it on camera. It wasn't like he was like, come to my van after school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was like a very like innocent kind of like moment. And if you look at the video, like the girls seemed like they were having a good time. They probably were like, he probably was like, man, like I gotta take my hair down before the thing after school. And they were like, we'll do it for you, Mr. Whatever. Like that's just like some shit that probably happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say that to say is like I've been in classrooms before where teachers like let you braid their hair, like the opposite of that, you know what I mean? Even like
really?
like I remember this one teacher in our high school,
That's
like
crazy.
for funsies, like some of the students like braided her hair. It was like this white lady, right?
That's wild.
And it was just like some fun shit. They braided and they took it out. Like it was like literally like no big deal. It's just like some shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think too, like people, because of like the climate of, you know, the internet today, everybody's looking for like a nefarious motive. Whereas I feel like before the internet, your teachers were just people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type shit. So I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I think the funniest fucking comment that I saw though, because I immediately read the comments.
Of course, same.
Was somebody was like, like this is giving grooming behavior, and I was like, grooming, grooming.
Yeah.
Oh my god, way to fucking jump the goddamn shark. Like that's such an extreme,
right?
Like, and that's my problem with the internet too. Is you can make the most like outlandish argument for anything.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is say it. You know what I mean? Like there doesn't have to really be an improvement. Like you could just say like he's grooming them, and then the internet's like, oh, like I think that one random person's right.
Yeah.
And then that's the narrative. It's like, well, now this guy's a groomer.
Right.
Like what? Like
yeah, that's wild. Well, my thoughts are obviously different than yours. I had a couple of different like points on it, and like I looked at like what other people said, specifically what other black teachers said. I just wanted to see what like the masses like of his like demographics, specifically teachers, were saying. And one of the points teachers were saying, like, not necessarily it's a nefarious thing and that it's grooming or anything. Like he probably was just like it's an innocent thing, and he has like a special bond with teachers. I mean, students, like a lot of teachers have. And it's a special thing. They were like, a lot of teachers have this, and there's apparently this code of conduct. You're not supposed to film kids and like post it on social media. That's another like that's a huge part of it. And another thing is like he had like the school displayed on there, like on the kids' faces. You know? So
that was the only thing that I thought was not fucked up, but like that he did wrong.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think he should have recorded it.
Right.
And he shouldn't have put it online.
Right.
And then I also think that, but that just goes for like any like real profession. Like I don't like when nurses do TikTok.
Yes.
Like I think like if you're at work,
especially you're working with kids.
Yeah. So I agree. I agree with that. Like him recording it and putting it online, I think was like where he kind of fucked up.
I would be pissed as a parent.
And yeah, especially as a parent, it's like don't put my kid on the internet without like my permission or whatever, you know. So I agree with you there.
Yeah. And then in that part, I didn't necessarily at first think about that. When I watch certain videos, it just gives me a weird vibe instantly. And I was just like, I don't like this and it doesn't feel right with me. That's how I felt instantly. And I'm not a parent, obviously, at all. But I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. Again, I didn't think it was a sexual or anything like that. Yeah. Like, trust me, I really didn't. But I also didn't like the fact that, like, yeah, he was like, oh, it's about to be the end of the class, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you said, it's a professional thing. Like, you're a teacher, and it's like, even you're saying that white teacher did that. Like, I think that shit's weird. Like, teachers shouldn't do that.
Again, like this,
even when students like do other students' hair, teachers are like, don't do that. You know.
But that's what I was gonna say next. Like, I remember when I was in high school, like when I was growing my hair out, I knew a girl who would like just braid my hair for fun.
Yeah.
Like it was, but again, it's like when you bring in like an adult and a teacher, then it gets like murky. But at the same time, I also just think like if that's the type of relationship, like if you watch the video, they look like they're having a good time.
Right.
It's not like he was like braid my hair right now.
No,
you're all
I
gonna
totally
fail.
agree.
Like it looks like they wanted to do it, and they're just like, we'll help you. Like if anything, I feel like they were like, we'll help you out, teacher. By doing your hair. If we all do it, it'll be done.
No,
quickly.
I totally agree.
Again, it's like I feel like it's one of those human moments that gets blown out of proportion because of where we are as a society today. You know what I mean?
Funny, yeah.
Like I feel like if this was like 20 years ago, nobody would care. Even if the principal walked in, they'd probably be like, "Oh, haha," you know.
Yeah.
As long as you're not, you know, not doing your work or anything.
Right.
Like that.
Exactly. And like another like those were my main points, but like another level why I think just on a deeper level why it made me feel uncomfortable, and it's totally like a sexist thing. I just didn't like that it was a grown man, adult man, and it was like these young women, young like children, not women, young children. Just
would
kind
you
of
feel differently if he was gay? We don't know his sexual orientation, but I'm saying if you knew that he was gay, would it make you feel different?
I would feel differently if it was a woman, to be honest with you.
So just the fact that it's a guy.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's a very sexist, like biased thing
why?
for me. That's the same thing as like if I had a kid and they're like preschool, like first grade, I would want their teachers to be a woman. I just personally feel comfortable. And like somebody else made this interesting comment in that like not saying he's doing something nefarious, but it's in the same sense that it's a boundary issue and it's like a power, not a power, that's like a powerful word, but it's an issue in that it's kind of breaking the boundaries. Like that's the teacher and you're kind of touching them in a close sense that it could kind of make it okay for like other instances, and it's kind of like blurring those lines. But I do kind of agree with that. I think that's what, when I initially saw it, my gut reaction made me feel weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So those were my thoughts on why like I don't think that should ever be okay or acceptable. And if my daughter came home or son came home, is like, oh, I came home and like Mr. Johnson helped him take his braids out, I'd be like, calling the principal, like, why the fuck is that happening at my... You wouldn't?
But I'm not like that. I don't know, dude. I don't think it was that big of a deal.
I did.
Like, if that was my child, I wouldn't be like that upset. I'd be like, oh. Especially because here's the other thing, right? If I, like, when I have kids, if I had kids, I think that I would be the type of parent to be involved in my child's education. So I would be meeting the teachers, PTAs, fucking, you know, whatever is going on at school. Like, I would want to be very involved. So I'm coming in from the perspective that I've already met this teacher. I probably have had conversations. I probably have, like, judged their character to know whether they're weird, whether they're, you know, cool, if I've gotten some type of vibe off of them, like, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So if it was somebody who I'm like, oh, like, that's a weird guy, whatever, and then I heard some shit like that, I might have a different opinion. But if it was, like, someone who I was like, that's a good teacher, I can tell they really care about my students' learning or my child's learning, whatever the fuck it is, right? It wouldn't bother me at all. I would just, if anything, I would be like, if I felt some type of way, I would just talk to them. I wouldn't be, like, calling the principal, trying to get them fired. And that's the part, I think that's the part that pissed me off the most about it.
And he did get fired.
Because it's like, this whole cancel culture in general, it's like, why this public online outrage towards somebody can just ruin their life.
No, I get you.
When their intention could have been completely innocent. But because of whoever random Joe Schmo on the internet's interpretation of what's going on, now the school is obligated to take action.
No, I get you.
Good luck to that guy finding another fucking job. You know what I mean?
And it's funny because, like, it's just, there's a lot of layers to it. And, like, all of it just made me feel uncomfortable in the sense, like, again, the reason why he put it out, he was like, oh, like, I think it was a live stream. He's like, I put this on live stream, and a lot of people were commenting that this is inappropriate, and colleagues were saying it. And he's like, I'm putting it out there.
Why are their colleagues on live when they should be
No,
teaching
and
their
then it got like
students.
circulated and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I want to put it as a discourse on there. And then I also didn't like the words he chose. He was like, my like best friends. Like, these are your students. These are not your best friends. To say
Yeah, that's
words like
weird.
that's
I don't know.
fucking weird.
I didn't see all that, but that is
So
weird.
you did, yeah. Like when he like narrated it, he was like, me and my best friends. Like people are just making it a weird thing, and like he just came off like super like icky. And I was like, I'm glad somebody called because I would have looked into it. Yeah, and that's always a thing. And going into another level, like teachers should not be posting students at all. Period.
Well,
Blank.
like I said before, if you're out fucking work and you're an adult, why are you posting anything?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I would never go to my job
Be like,
tomorrow
"Woo,
and start
yeah."
doing fucking TikTok dances and whatever,
People totally do
or
that.
even just recording and be like, ha ha ha, my boss is such a dick. Like, I would never do.
It's so
Why would
crazy.
you do that?
It's so crazy. Like FedEx drivers be like doing shit like that. It's so
Bro,
crazy.
If you ever wanted
So
to get fired
stupid.
immediately, that's the best way to do it.
So
I don't think any
stupid.
job, unless you literally work in production, would be okay with that.
Like it's just people think it's so cute and like
Those
they're
are
like, I'm marketing for y'all. It's like no.
not even. I think those people want to be famous and they're just at a job because, like, I think their priority is internet fame.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but I also have to go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know if this is true. Another thing came after he got fired. There was like allegations that he was messaging like middle school kids and it's like
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying.
So he was a weird ass
This
guy.
is a weird guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's why I think he was in middle school.
Yeah.
So
And again, like,
Yeah.
that's all I was saying. Like, as a
Weird.
parent,
yeah.
if I knew this guy, like, if you can tell, bro, like, you can tell
Yeah.
people are just fucking
And I wish
weird.
you listened to like the actual voiceover when he said the best friend shit. I was like, what the fuck?
No, I didn't hear all that shit.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I if that's the case,
Yeah.
I'm assuming the people who probably reported it already had like their suspicions. Then I would feel like that's justified. Like, he seems like a weirdo.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, totally.
But I was coming from it like, this is just a regular ass guy.
You didn't do your research. You were supposed to at least listen to the voiceover, bro. I hate
You didn't.
you.
You said watch the video. You didn't say
Oh my
nothing
God, I
about
have to be
listening.
like, watch the video and listen to it.
I
Are you
wasn't listening to
joking?
shit.
So you just saw it in silent like that.
Pretty much.
So you didn't even get what the fuck was
I
happening.
read the comments and I think I read the caption and I was just like, all right, I get the gist.
Oh my god. Okay, please next time do your research.
But I stand by my statement that, like, I don't necessarily think that is inappropriate.
No, I think that's
but
inappropriate. You shouldn't be touching your students.
But he wasn't touching them; they were touching him.
And all up in their hair? Fuck no.
There's a difference. I think if he was doing a student's hair, I would 100% be like, fire this nigga. That's way different.
I don't even think they should be hugging students.
Who the fuck? I've definitely hugged a teacher though.
Yeah, I don't think, like, to me, like, I would tell my kids, like, don't hug, like, you don't know
You
your
would tell them.
teacher. I'm so serious.
You're like,
I
no
didn't hug
hugs.
my teacher.
No hugs for
but
teachers.
I'm a very person to, like, I don't like hugging people. I'm not a hugger.
I was a hugger.
I know you
I am a
are, and it
hugger.
creeps me out. I'm like,
It creeps you out.
huggers creep me out. I'm like,
When I
why
hug
do
you?
Why? No.
You're like, oh god.
No, like people who just like hugging. Like it's like, why do you just want to touch random
I don't.
people? Like
I don't
you're gonna
like
get
hugging,
mono.
but I will definitely greet you with a
That's a
hug.
fucking lie. His line when I first met him was like, I'm a hugger. I hug everyone.
What the fuck? No, I didn't.
Bro, the crack got to you.
The crack.
Yeah. Whatever you be doing in your spare
crack.
time. Whatever is warping your memory.
Hell no.
Yes.
Yes. I think you're thinking of Mr. Spell.
No, I'm dead ass thinking of you. I wish like that Black Mirror episode where you can just read.
Oh, yeah.
But very inappropriate. Teachers should not be touching their students. Maybe like a nice high five, like a very light pat on the back, hugs. No, inappropriate.
Okay.
In my opinion, yeah.
So speaking of inappropriate touching, there's a new show on Hulu called Under the Bridge.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the other show.
Which one?
Brave Reindeer.
Well, I mean,
That's very
that too, I
inappropriate.
guess, yeah. So there's two shows we've watched recently,
Crazy shows.
which are pretty fucked up, I would say, both
Yeah.
of them. Baby Reindeer and then Under the Bridge.
Yeah.
So Under the Bridge is a show about, I guess it's a true story about this girl who like drowns to death, or well, she dies.
Yeah, she was
And
murdered.
She was murdered in Canada,
Yeah.
and a journalist comes back and she tries to like essentially solve the murder. And yeah, it's just pretty fucked up. So I don't know. What would you say was like the overall theme?
First of all, her name is Vina Verk. I want her name out there.
Say her name.
I guess the overall theme, as a lot of like, I know it's real life, but like teenage like shows and stuff tend to be like fitting in, bullying, loneliness, especially because she was Indian and came from an immigrant family. I believe her mom was first gen, like she was born here, but her dad was an immigrant to America. To Canada. So also like the immigrant struggles. It was a very interesting show in that basically Vina, she was a middle school student and she wants to fit in, and she becomes friend, and I use that like term very loosely, with these couple of popular / very troubled girls. Two of them live in a group home. One is just, she seems normal as, but she's fucked up. And she like becomes friends with them and kind of fits in, and they just kind of murder her.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like Mean Girl vibes, but like, to the fucking 10th degree.
Yeah.
So the thing that I thought was really interesting, I guess spoiler alert, so we can just talk about what the fuck happens. There's like the leader mean bitch who like thinks she's like a fucking mafioso or some shit. Weird. But really she's just like, you know, compensating for her own childhood trauma and all that gay shit. So she kind of like leads this like mob to beat up this poor girl.
Yeah.
I don't even know why, because they were kind of friends for a while.
Had stolen her diary, remember?
Yeah, but before that they were friends, and then in the beginning she was like I forget what the rift was, because in the first episode she was like, "Get off my bed, you fat bitch." Yeah. And then that's why she stole the diary.
That's very true.
But if you watch like the backstory, they were like kind of cool.
Yeah, I always took it as like Joe was kind of embarrassed to be friends with her in front of her actual best friend, the bitch who actually killed her. And she, but like why? In front of her, like I think because she wasn't pretty or like whatever, because she was kind of like desperate. Like no offense to her, you know, RP.
Yeah.
She was kind of desperate to be liked, but like when someone's just desperate to be your friend or something, you're kind of like, oh, like it's a turn off. So I feel like besides Dusty, which I loved her, but she was such a
follower.
Yeah, like they kind of felt that way with her. They could like smell her desperation. They were just like,
yeah.
They were like she was a punching bag.
It was the typical like, you know,
it was so sad.
Weird new kid trying to fit in, but I don't. It was sad. I felt bad for her just because it's like anybody who you have to work that hard for their approval aren't really your friends, you know.
Totally. And like the fucked up thing was like all of them besides her, the girl who got like murdered, had such fucked up like families, and that like they were jealous that like they showed her like immigrant like Indian parents like how they met. It was so beautiful, and they really loved her and took her on vacation. So they're like those girls were jealous of her, and it was. But
it was also, I feel like she was just dumb because she.
Oh my god! Yeah, she was kind of naive.
Like to a point where it's like.
And that's how you don't shelter your kids like that, you know.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, like I'm gonna go be friends with these people who live in a fucking group home.
It's and kind
of the first thing she does is like, oh, like, do you want to come see my amazing house with my family? It's like, what the like, it's almost like rubbing it in their, like, of course they're going to be a little salty, you know?
I mean, first of all, it wasn't the first time, but I just think, like, to me, like, me specifically, I don't know if you've been there, like, I don't know, to be liked and, like, kind of to fit in, you know? You're like, no, I've always been cool and fit in. You know, I could relate, and I feel like a lot of people could as well. And maybe she did, like, take it to an extreme, but I don't know. I think, especially, like, being, like, an immigrant girl and, like, not fitting in, and, like, she's surrounded by, like, white kids and all of that. Was it desperate? Yes. Was it kind of sad? Yes, but...
Yeah, no,
it was
I don't know.
Relatable, you know.
I get it, but I was also just like, are there no other kids at this school?
No, totally. And
like you picked the worst one.
They didn't even go to the same school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was also just drawn to like people like that as well.
Well, you know, because her family was like Jehovah's Witnesses or something.
Yeah, that shit was weird too.
Or some shit. I don't know if it was Jehovah's.
No, it was Jehovah's.
Mad religious, so of course
that shit was weird.
Them being like bad girls smoking cigarettes, hanging out with boys.
That's exactly what
I think that was For sure,
like
like
the
a lot of the
appeal.
appeal.
And like the backstory to the Jehovah thing, like it was just such a tragic story. The grandparents of the mom, or the parents of the mom, came to America from India, and they couldn't fit in. And then Jehovah Witness people were nice to them, so that's why they became
Yeah, they
Jehovah. So it
became
was like kind of a full circle fucked up
right.
moment, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's why she kind of was an outsider, not because of that, but you know, it was, she was more sheltered because she was a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm like, that's why religion is a cult. I'm gonna be one of those nutty old ladies who are like, religion is a cult. I was like discussing that with someone, but yeah. So that show was like, I always hate stories like that. It's always tragic, you know. It's a
Yeah.
time as old as
A tale as old as time.
yeah. There you go. You got it.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Like,
that's what I'm here for.
and I feel like, I don't know, who doesn't love a story like that? Like, I wish she was alive, you know? That was one of those, like, a redemption arc. Like, that's what America's built on, being bullied and, like, persevering and being like, I found the one and I have friends.
So the chick who fucking actually kills her was, like, the best friend that apparently Joe didn't want knowing that she was cool with.
Mm-hmm.
The
Who
Indian
actually
chick.
has, like, parents, came from a decent life.
Yeah, but she had, like, she had, like, hella violent, like, past shit.
Like, tendencies. It was weird.
Like, remember, there was this one scene where, like, the teacher or the principal or somebody was like, yeah, like, or I think it was the cop, actually. She was like, oh, like, I forget what her name was, but, like, the friend, they were like, didn't she, like, light someone's hair on fire?
Yeah.
And then she, like, punched this person? Like, how come she never gets in trouble? Type
Yeah.
shit. Which they never answered. I was like, that's an amazing question. Why isn't she suspect number one? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then she was,
Little
in
white
fact,
girls.
right. She was, in fact, the person who, like, murdered her and shit. And she was just psycho, dude. She was just like, yo, like, ho, 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 I was stepping on her neck for a whole cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? This bitch is in middle school, bro.
Dude, like,
you're a goddamn assassin.
True crime shit, I'm weirdly, like, morbidly into, like, hearing about it, but I don't know how people can, like stab, you know, like, hurt another human being.
For sure, that's, like, sociopathic
so
tendencies.
crazy. Totally.
Like, specifically in her case, to just have, like, zero remorse, almost, like, finding, like, pleasure in it.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's people like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like some, I don't know, it's like when people, like, kill, like, squirrels and shit.
Yeah, oh my god. Or, like, oh, this one's so fucked up. There was, like, an era of, like, people beating up homeless people, recording and putting it on YouTube. Do you remember that? Oh my god. And that shit used to hurt my hand heart.
There was a website called Bum Fights back in the day. I don't know how they got these bums to fight, but they would
so
fight.
Fucked up. Yeah, dude. That was a dark time in, like, society and the internet.
There's been darker times for sure. But I don't know. I think that's just, like, human nature for whatever fucked up reason.
Yeah.
And I do think for sure it's a lot of the times, like, hurting other people.
Totally. Oh, man.
Why does that always happen?
I don't know.
We twist it up.
Twisted tea. Alright. But I don't know. We have technical difficulties. No? Oh.
Wow. I guess the battery died.
Oh, wow. No more video? Okay. Whatever. But yeah, so how did you like, what would you rate the show out of 5?
Out of 5?
Yes.
I guess like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. To me, a solid 4. I always love, like, true crime stuff like this. I especially feel for, like, the outsider. And I thought it, like, to me, it gave homage to the girl, you know? It gave homage to the victim really well, and, like, the family and, like, where she came from, and, like, I feel like a lot of true crime shows like that focus on, like, the gory details and stuff, and the attackers a lot of the time, but they really did show the story of her and, like, her life. It was nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I appreciate it.
I think the storytelling was done pretty well too. Mm-hmm. All things considered.
Definitely.
What about Baby Reindeer?
Oh my god. For those who, I'm sure everybody's seen Baby Reindeer, a Netflix show, just to give a quick synopsis, it's again based off another true story. It was written, directed, and starred by the guy that it actually happened to. He was stalked for a year or so. I don't even know how long. Right? By a woman. Just a fucking crazy, and again, same like theme as Under the Bridge, in that a lot about like loneliness and like just everyone. It's just one of those like life themes of like kind of growing up, relationships, sexuality, discovering one's sexuality, like trigger warning, but like rape and like, like really dark, but also it didn't end. I was gonna be like also beautiful ending, but like it didn't end on like a really uplifting thing, but it ended on a very like realistic life.
Did we finish it? I thought we saw it a couple episodes.
No, we finished it. It ended with him like at the bar. Remember the guy gave him the
yeah,
drink.
yeah.
It ended on like I usually hate shows or movies that end on just like what now, but it ended because it's realistic. It ended on a very realistic note.
Yeah, the ending was funny.
Yeah.
I thought this was hilarious.
And to me, knowing it actually happened to him and he was playing it, I thought was like really nuts. And like, and I think I was talking to you and Shannon about that. I thought that would be like triggering in itself, but then I also read that it can be like cathartic and like you're like controlling the narrative,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like Netflix made him make that show.
No, of course.
He went to Netflix with that script.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say, and it ended with him like writing the script. So like, I really liked it.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
I liked it too. I don't know. I think like, it wasn't what I expected going in. I think the third episode is the one where he like gets sexually assaulted and all that shit.
Yeah.
That episode, like, because up until then it was kind of like, oh,
silly,
haha, he's being stalked. Oh, this crazy lady, and then it was just like
by the guy, right? Not by her.
Yeah, by the guy. And then like shit just hit the fan. I was like, oh fuck, like this guy.
Yeah. And then he just kind of fell into a hole.
Yeah, that shit was intense though. But I do think it was interesting how he basically like identified as being bisexual after that.
Almost. Yeah.
And I wonder, I always wonder, because like I hear that that's pretty common, that like some type of sexual assault usually leads to like male homosexuality or whatever. So I wonder to what degree, because he didn't identify as that before. You know what I mean?
I think that's a very slippery slope to go.
No, but I'm saying specifically in this goddamn show.
In his case, no, I know. But
he was like a straight man, and then he got sexually assaulted, and then he was confused about his feelings, and then I feel like in an effort to cope with it, he went down like this, like quote unquote homosexual path. And then by the end of it, he's like, well, now I identify as bi. So I thought that was interesting. And then especially, like, he falls in love with, like, the trans woman and all that shit.
I more so, and I get where you're coming from. I more so saw it as, like, it didn't, like, turn him bisexual or gay in that sense. But I think he, like, discovered, obviously, that he was bisexual or gay. And that he probably was only with women. And it kind of seemed like he thought...
No, because...
But it also seemed like he thought, like, his parents, society wouldn't accept, so he probably didn't even like branch out in that sense. And until he got like sexually assaulted, he probably was like, oh.
Because when he was getting sexually assaulted, he didn't enjoy it.
Right. No, I get what you mean, but
like he was like crying, like the you know what I'm saying, like
and then he was into like violent porn and all that shit after.
Exactly. And
no, I get you.
He just had like a lot of like.
But I don't know. But that's not saying like. I don't think he was having like violent sex with the trans girl. I think it just. Like, it was, like, built to a bridge. I get what you're saying, and I think it can be in those cases, but I don't know. I feel like in his case, like he discovered that.
Nah, I specifically think in his case.
You think so?
Bro, you gotta watch that. He was...
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bro, even when he did the whole, like, YouTube confession thing, and he was, like, bawling his eyes out.
Okay, I didn't see that part. I didn't see that episode, because...
You didn't see that part? Yep.
I didn't hear.
You might have fallen asleep.
Yeah, I didn't hear that whole like monologue, so maybe I
okay, you gotta watch the monologue.
Okay.
Because he talks about like, you know.
So maybe it did.
All the like shame sense. And all that shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really have like a point to that, but it was an observation that I had because it was a very like right in the middle of the show episode that I think defines the rest of it.
Right.
And it helps put in context like his relationship with the stalker chick and like why he kept like going back to her and not reporting her and all that shit. Because I think at the end of that episode too, he was like, how come he's reporting her, but he never reported the guy who sexually assaulted him? So again, it's like it's this like he's highlighting his like rationality of the things that are happening to him.
Right. Totally.
And like him kind of like coming to terms with this. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I wonder like to what degree like this shit's like defining him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess like not to like totally go there. And I also thought it was interesting that he could have just became like gay and just went for like other men, but he chose to go for that. Terry.
The trans woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think he's definitely like bi.
You know? Yeah, exactly. No, he's
even,
for sure bi.
He was even still like kind of attracted to the I cannot remember. What was the stalker's name? Martha. Yeah. He was like borderline attracted he totally to that was.
But I feel like in a weirdly like repulsive way, you know? Like he's kind of grossed out by it, but he was still like he feels sorry for it.
But again,
no, I get what you mean with the like the gay thing. Yeah, no, I know.
After he got assaulted, he was like looking at that horrible porn and shit.
Yeah, no,
it's the same thing. Like it's, you know what I mean?
I get what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. I think the stuff like that's interesting.
I don't know. It was an intense show for sure, though.
Very intense. Very like, was it British?
He was British. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Irish or something. His like humor, like his stand up was like very different from like our stand up.
Oh
so
my
it was
God, that shit was garbage.
It was very like Adam Sandler-esque comedy in that like very like physical comedy.
That's like Jim Carrey on fucking,
yeah, exactly, like physical comedy. So like it was interesting to see that sense as well. It kind of reminded me of John Cena in that movie when he did his like
Ricky Stinicky.
That shit was so funny. Y'all gotta watch that.
Another great Netflix movie.
Right. So like that
I think that was on.
No, Amazon Prime. Yeah. So those two shows again, like a lot of just loneliness. You know, people lonely out there.
Fitting in is hard.
Fitting is very hard. It sucks, and people. It can suck, man.
People are
you
big
seem
meanies.
so tired.
Always.
Your eyes are all red.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but yeah. So, what would you rate?
I give it a 4 out of 5.
I also give it a 4 out of 5, and I know, but I like both of them equally on a different level.
I like Baby Reindeer more.
More? Yeah, you would.
But I will say I was more intrigued by
Under the Bridge.
Yeah. Like I was watching that shit like what the fuck? It's very captivating. I felt like it was a more captivating show. But I did like the story of Baby Reindeer a little bit more.
And I feel like Hulu does a good job with shows like that, like Fire Everywhere, White Lotus.
Yeah.
I don't know if White Lotus is Little Fires Everywhere. Yeah. They kind of like it's like a slow burn. You know, they kind of like tell the story like that. So.
Well, because I think specifically with Hulu shows, their formula is still kind of like TV. So every episode ends on that like solid like cliffhanger where you're like, what the fuck?
And whereas, both of those. Oh, sorry.
I would say like Netflix does it too, but sometimes they're kind of more lax about it.
Yeah,
because they know you're gonna binge watch it anyways. True. They put all the episodes out for you. Wait, so. Did we finish Under the Bridge, or is there more?
There's some more episodes that's coming.
Okay. That's what I was going to say. Because I was like, we didn't even really figure out.
No.
That shit just ended kind of on a weird-ass fucking note.
I obviously, like, looked into, like, the actual story, because Warren Gretzky, he also gets arrested, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to see his involvement, So, y'all better freaking watch that shit and keep up with us, because it's fucking interesting, and, like, I love true crime. I don't know, you're not that big of a true crime fan.
I mean, unless it's rappers shooting each other. Then
I don't know if that's true crime, so it's always interesting to me.
Yeah. I would say we should talk about the Drake and Kendrick beef, but I don't think you've listened. I haven't even listened.
I haven't really listened, and I honestly think it's very silly. Like, I just think it's very, like, Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian are beefing. Like, I don't really care.
I get you in the fact that it's super silly.
Yeah.
And I feel like they got like so aggressive and angry at each other so quickly. Like, I didn't even know the beef was that real. To be honest,
I thought it was PR.
But I will say, having listened to.
I listened to Kendrick's.
Yeah, that shit's on the radio now. He basically won.
Yeah.
Like, he dropped like 3 tracks back to back. One of them's on the top of the charts right now. Mm-hmm. It's on the radio. It was on today like 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. Drake has yet to respond. Kendrick won.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like.
Period blank.
I like Drake. I'm not even like a Drake hater or anything like that. But it's just like, bro, you lost. I'm sorry.
No, I feel it.
Especially because the track that he wrote in response was just like a complete like defense track. Like, he wasn't even really clapping back. He was just like, no, that's not true. Like, the whole track. It's like, you can't do
like
that.
Kendrick said, he's just like R&B singing. You know, he's not really
yeah.
So, I thought the more interesting one that I thought was more random was the Quavo and Chris Brown.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
And like Chris Brown, which I did not know he rapped.
Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know his singing song.
Like, he can rap.
I didn't know that. So I was like,
he has the ability.
I didn't know that. So I was like, where the fuck did that come from? So I was like, leave Quavo alone. He lost his brother.
Poor Quavo.
Yeah. I'm like, leave him alone.
Apparently they've had beef forever too.
That's what Cornell was telling me, and I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't know that at all.
That's what I said.
Like, where's all this fucking tension coming from, guys?
Bro, right.
It was just like the month of like airing out your dirty laundry.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah. The Gatorade's in the microwave again.
That's so funny. Speaking of which, I was listening to my little podcast, and like one of the girls, or both of them, got their astrological charts read. You know what that means?
Sure.
So basically, like, you tell them your like the exact time, month, location you were born, and they kind of see like what the sky looked like that exact moment, and it can tell about like a lot about like who you are, but also like during this time right now is not a good time to make big career moves, blah blah blah. Like, and so I totally want to get my chart read.
Like some numerology type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought it was.
It.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. Would you want to do that?
Talk about them.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Yeah, because they did that, and I thought and we don't have to like have them on there. We can just do it and then tell them the results.
Right.
So, which would be cool if we could have that. I wish your aunt did that. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
So I'll look into that. I'm glad you're down. Because, I mean, do you know the exact time you were born? What? You could ask your mom.
Like 3-ish. I don't know, like, the exact moment.
You should ask your mom, because they want the exact time.
It was like 3 p.m. Okay. But I wish they put that shit on your fucking birth certificate.
They don't?
Do they?
I think so.
Is it on yours?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm like, what?
do.
Yours doesn't have it?
That'd be cool if they did. I don't know.
I totally thought they did.
I think I have a copy of my shit somewhere.
Nice. So, we're going to do that, and that should be a cool thing to look forward to. And I just, besides, like, this is going to sound silly, like, therapy is cool, you know. It's, like, cool to know, like, your brain in that sense. But I think it's cool to, like, and I know a lot of people don't believe in astrology, but it's cool to know yourself in that sense, too. I think it can say a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I think it's like, I feel like it's like religion, where if you believe in it, then it's real to you.
Yeah, totally,
you know what I mean?
Totally. It's how you mold your life.
Yeah,
your
like if you read your horoscope every day and it, like, you know, validates whatever you're going through, then that's great. You know what I mean?
But I'm also gonna look and see if that's like taboo for couples to get it read together.
Taboo?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's just a chart thing, huh? It's like getting tattoos. I don't know. You know how they're like, don't get your couple like significant other's name tatted. I don't want to like mess up the astrological gods mad at us. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Just to see what the fucking stars say for me.
I think my stars are telling me to go to the gym.
Oh yeah, but that's what we're gonna do after this. You ready?
I'm ready. It's been real, guys. Thanks for tuning in. What is this, episode 14?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching.
I'm mad. I hope in the last one I said lucky number 13. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you listen this far, say sprinkle shorts.
Sprinkle shorts. Or, you know, let us know if you've seen those shows. And,
yeah, what you think. If you agree with their ratings. If you think they sucked and you're like, you guys are dumb as fuck. Or if you want to say nice things to us, that'd be cool too.
Deuces.
Bye.